Does Vince even create WrestleMania if Hulk Hogan doesn't make his way to the WWF? If no Mania, where is wrestling today? Now, I don't know that you've had that specific conversation with Vince, but we've all sort of freestyled, hey, if it wasn't going to be Hulk, who would have been the guy? And there's lots of debate and discussions, but I do think in order to make a big push for WrestleMania, they had to have a hood ornament. They had to have a central figure. They had to have a star. And just as a refresher, Hogan's first match with the company when he returns to the WWF airs on January 1st. He wins the belt 23 days later, January 24th, 1984. But by March of 85, which is when the first WrestleMania was, they'd already been on MTV. He had already done Saturday Night Live. You know, they had already had the Sports Illustrated opportunity. But maybe biggest of all, they had a new licensed action figure. The action figure deal was out there. Like the momentum was rolling. And I think it can't be argued or even debated that those early years, especially WrestleMania, those were built around Hulk Hogan. Like these days, Eric, people say, and I hear this in my real life all the time, oh, are you going to the matches? WWE's coming to town this weekend or something like that. But it's always WWE's coming to town. But back then, Eric, people didn't say that. They said, I'm going to see Hulk Hogan this Thursday. I mean, it was a totally different way that we see wrestling promoted the way it's promoted now. Like now you can just say it's Monday Night Raw and tickets are on sale and man, they're flying off the shelves. Oftentimes WrestleMania would sell out just when they put tickets on sale. They don't know who the card is, who's on it, what's on it, none of that. But early promotion from WWE, Hulk Hogan was on everything, every single thing. I mean, even a guy like the Iron Sheik, he made hundreds of thousands of dollars on his action figure because the Hulk Hogan action figure needed to beat somebody up. He really was the central figure
That's
in
funny as
professional
hell.
wrestling.
That is funny because it's so true.
It,
You know, I don't even remember what day it was. Honestly, the last 7. I woke up this morning and I wasn't sure where I was. I didn't, I wasn't out drinking or anything like that. I mean, I woke up this morning. First of all, I slept in. I woke up at 6 in the morning instead of 4, which is very unusual for me. And when I woke up, I was completely disoriented. I recognized that I was in my house, but I didn't know what day it was. I didn't know what I had to do. Usually when I wake up in the morning, I already have like a mental checklist in my head. Not that I get it all done, trust me. I start out with one and we'll see what happens. But I usually am very aware of, okay, I'm up. I got 20 minutes to get my coffee. I got 15 to get in the shower because I've got to do whatever at such and such time. So I woke up and it took me 5 minutes to figure out what I had to do today. Just weird. But I early on I wrote something that said, "Thank you for the house Hulkster." Put that on social media. And I ended up having to explain that, but the amount of feedback I got from that, just one little comment, was crazy. I'm sorry, I lost track of the question.
well, we were talking about the Iron Sheik making hundreds of thousands of dollars off of the
Oh,
action
yes. I'm
figure.
sorry. I'm sorry. I feel like we're doing last week's show all over again. My point in that is the point that my comment was really the point that you just made, because so many people don't realize how elevated everybody, even people that didn't like Hulk Hogan and didn't want to wrestle Hulk Hogan, ended up making more money because of Hulk Hogan. And then, of course, those that did work with Hulk really felt the benefit. But it was truly Hulk Hogan, the brand, truly was the tide that raised all boats. And a lot of people recognize it, and they would say something like, "Hey, Hulkster, thanks for the house," which is a recognition of just, knowing that all those tickets that got sold tonight, they weren't coming to see me, brother. They were coming to see you, and I just got to come along for the party and make more money in the process. That's really what that was. But you're right. You're right. He made so well. It's just when I say also Vince McMahon. He and Vince together, that boat, rose so hard and so fast that a lot of people made more money. But one more point I wanted to make. Early on in your question or your setup for it, you talked about, you didn't think about WrestleMania, you thought about Hulk Hogan. WrestleMania wasn't coming to town. Hulk Hogan's coming to town. That's a fact. That's a fact, Jack. And it's also it's ground zero for all of the friction, really.
Yes.
Between
Yes.
Vince and Hulk throughout their entire relationship.
Yes.
Was that they both knew early. Now, not today, then. They both knew that, well, they didn't know. They were fighting over who that was going to be. Are the fans going to be more aware of the WWF brand, or are they going to be more aware of the Hulk Hogan brand? Because if they're more aware of the Hulk Hogan brand than they are of the WWF brand, Vince loses leverage. Vince didn't want to lose leverage, and Hulk gained leverage. Hulk wanted to gain leverage because Hulk wanted equity in WWF. He felt as he deserved it. And Vince obviously disagreed. But they both had an argument. That's the fun part. It's not fun. But that's just the really almost dramatic. It's almost funny how these two argued over that point that you just made back in 1984, 1985.
I can't wait for us to talk about this. It is the thing I've wanted to talk about with you the most on today's episode. I think you could argue that the whole Hulk Hogan, Vince McMahon, who made who thing, that's almost like wrestling's version of chicken and the egg, is it not?
It is. That's what I mean. And if you think about it, think back to all the disagreements and because those two, I can't speak for the Vince side, but I know, I was sitting next to him, listening. I was on speaker. I was listening on speakerphone to, conversations they were having back and forth, and it all comes back to one thing. It's like a husband and wife that just can't get over the fact that there's no compromise when it comes to lifting the lid on the toilet. Like that. No matter what, we can't get over that. And we'll get along and we'll do business and we'll have fun. But the minute we both have to piss in the same pot, it's World War III. That's what that was. That's funny.
I look forward to us talking more about the Hulk Hogan Vince McMahon relationship. We're getting lots of questions about it too. Jason Jocelyn is with us here live, and he wants to know, what did you think of the Hulk Hogan Vince McMahon match? Eric, you may not recall, but this was a WrestleMania match from like 20 years ago. We saw a surprise return from Roddy Piper in it. Did you ever see that match? What did you think of Hogan and Vince's match?
Did it take place in Seattle?
It did, yes.
Then I remember it. Yeah, I remember it. I was there. Yeah, I remember it. I was entertained by it. I had an idea of what to expect. I didn't talk to Hulk about it. I didn't hear how it was going to be laid out or what the finish was going to be or anything like that. But he was pretty lighthearted about it. He wasn't, concerned about it. So I knew it was probably going to be something that was physically, within his boundaries and things that he'd be able to do safely and look good doing it. So kind of knew what to expect. I was anxious to see, Vince play out his character because he was crazy in a good way. I liked it. And when you mentioned that match, the very first thought that flashed up out of my hard drive was Vince. There's a camera shot,
yes,
where Vince McMahon is looking up over the ring apron,
yep,
and his eyes go this way and this way. I love that shot because it's a perfect example of how to use TV in professional wrestling. Like that same thing wouldn't have had nearly the same effect and didn't have the same effect to the people in the audience, unless they were watching on the monitor. Because then you're right in the face of the character. You can, you read their mind. You kind of say, oh, I know what that dirty bastard's going to do next. That's engaging you. That's sucking you in. That's bringing you along, right? And that one camera shot is probably the best example of how and why to use cameras in professional wrestling. Otherwise, they're just catching, action, which is still interesting and important, but man, when you can bring out the emotion and get people inside your head just with a camera shot, it's awesome. I've always liked that shot. Can you tell? I've thought about it a lot.
Don't we all love summer vacation, relaxing, laying out by the pool, barbecues, hitting the beach, doing, well, nothing? Well, how about a summer vacation from your house payments? With SaveWithConrad.com, you can do just that. Reduce your monthly payments by making the equity you built up in your home work for you. You can roll together those high interest rate credit cards into one lower monthly payment, and perhaps access some of that newfound equity to turn your house into your dream home with no money out of pocket. And how about this? You get to skip your next 2 house payments. Go right now to SaveWithConrad.com. Let my team run the numbers for you for free. There's no obligation, and if we can't help you save some cash, we won't waste your time. And did I mention we're offering a 3-year guarantee right now? That's right. That means if at any point interest rates improve over the next 3 years, you get a free refi. That's right. No new lender fees from us. So you get to save money now without wasting money later when the rates improve on a whole second set of closing costs. Why not go to SaveWithConrad.com and get a guarantee? Save money now and save money later with your friend in the mortgage business. That's me, Conrad Thompson at SaveWithConrad.com. Shoot me an email at Conrad@SaveWithConrad.com. Give us a call at 888-425-0105 or get yourself a quick quote. Even talk to a live person right now at SaveWithConrad.com. NMLS number 2129, equal housing lender. Take a summer vacation from house payments at SaveWithConrad.com.